Hello and welcome to the Courageous Nerd YouTube channel. This interview is with actor Anthony Turpel, who you may recognize from Love Victor, No Good Nick, and The Bold and the Beautiful. If you enjoy this interview or any of the others on the channel, please be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with Courageous Nerd content. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to do this.
Of course.
Great. And how was your experience been in the pandemic so far?
I am surviving. I'm doing good. I have been playing a lot of video games.
Hmm.
And that's mostly where my social life is. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. I've been playing this new game called Among Us with friends, and
Hmm.
it's basically where two people are like imposters and they're trying to murder everyone, and everyone's trying to figure out who the imposters are. It's a lot of fun. And
Hmm.
so I've been doing a lot of that, been playing a lot of Fallout, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, stuff like that. And I've been hanging out with the cast safely with masks, things like that.
Hmm.
But we've been hanging out a lot, and that's been a lot of fun as well.
Right. And obviously, you're an actor, but
Mhm.
what else do you enjoy outside of your profession, I guess?
Ooh, well, like I said, video games. I'm a huge gamer. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I love writing.
Hmm.
Um, Let's see. I'm kind of a boring person, to be honest. I love history. History is really interesting to me. Um,
Right.
yeah, because sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, and history has definitely proven that.
Hmm.
And so I like history. What else? I I love sleep. I guess. I mean, I'm sure
Hmm.
there's like more things that I'm forgetting about, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know why I can't describe my personality right now. But
Right.
yeah, just all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, as an actor, some of your well-known projects, I guess, would include, Love Victor, The Bold and the Beautiful.
Mhm.
But how did your journey in acting first start?
So I did my first play when I was 5,
Hmm.
and that I was in the Wizard of Oz, and I was in the Lollipop Guild, and for like the Munchkins, and I found my love there, and it just kind of like throughout my life, this is what I've always wanted to do. It's the best job in the world, and so I what I basically did is over time, like how kids like play sports and things. I did that
Hmm.
for a bit, but then I dropped it, and then I just got more and more in acting. And then I wanted to take classes, and classes are expensive, like insanely. So,
Yeah.
but my mom, she found in a newspaper that there was a contest, and the winner of the contest would basically get 6 months of free acting classes. And at the time, like I noticed this now, but at the time I didn't. It was kind of sketchy, to be honest. And you didn't
Hmm.
have to act, you didn't have to do anything. All you did was walk up and talk to an agent. So that's exactly what I did. At 11 years old or 10, I walked up and I just talked to them for a little bit, and they really liked my personality. And they were like, "Hey, you didn't win, but we want to see if you would like to audition for us, and maybe we'll sign you." And at the time, this was a commercial agency for ABA.
Hmm.
And so I was like, "Oh shit, okay, that's cool." And so I went in and I did a Field of Dreams monologue, um,
Right.
and yeah, they signed me, and that's kind of how I got started. And then I went from commercial to theatrical, and then just from there, I've been doing acting ever since.
Right. And since you started acting, like I mentioned, you've been in a few projects, but
Mhm.
do you feel there's any kind of similarity overall between the characters you've played, or is it more of a broad spectrum?
Well, before Love Victor, I played a serial killer. So I feel
Hmm.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
a pretty broad area. And with Bold, I was like this rich kid, and with like No Good Nick, I was this like spy. So it's actually been kind of broad,
Hmm.
um, and and that's what you want as an actor too. You don't
Yeah.
want to play the same person over and over. Even though,
Yeah,
and that's cool with some people. I mean, some people find a niche, and that's amazing. But for
sure,
me,
yeah.
I got into acting because I want to be different people, and I really want
Mm.
to like pull people into an experience where I can I can make them believe I'm someone else. And so I like to get those opportunities where the character's completely different from me, or I can like add my own spin on it and uh, make it different from my other characters. So I always hope for that.
Right. And I guess, so congratulations for Love Victor being renewed,
Thank you.
of
Yeah, I'm
course.
super
Yeah.
excited.
And what your character Felix is obviously in many scenes with Victor.
Mhm.
So were you and Michael like paired together when you were auditioning, or was it just all a separate thing?
Yeah, no, we so I met Michael for the first time in my chemistry read. And so
Right.
basically I went to producers and there was like 90 people in that goddamn room and I was
Mm.
terrified as hell. And I was talking to Michael and we did the scenes together. We didn't really like communicate. It was more just us like, "Hi, how's it going?" And then we awkwardly said hi and we did the scenes and then I left. And then I found out I got it, and then over time I started hanging out with Michael and everyone else, but Michael and me really bonded before the show, and it really helped
Mm.
us along the way. So our friendship on the show is at least I hope so, but I hope it seems real to people because it is. We are really good friends, and I love him to death. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, and kind of speaking of their friendship, and it's obviously a slight spoiler for some people if you haven't watched the full thing, but
Mhm.
Felix finds out about Victor's sexuality a bit later in the season.
Yeah.
But how do you think he would have reacted if Victor had been able to tell him when they first met?
Oh, exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Hmm.
Felix is the most supportive, kind, loving person you could possibly meet.
Hmm.
And for a 16-year-old to have an outlook like that is so incredible.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he would have reacted exactly the same. Felix, the main thing he cares about is character and who you are as a person. And if you're a good person, and if you are, he's gonna love you no matter what.
Right. And of course, again, Love Victor is a continuation of Love Simon, which is filmed from 2018,
Mhm.
and it has its own source material, which is the novel Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. So,
Mhm.
how more or less nervous do you think overall was it coming to a project with that kind of backstory compared to
Yeah,
starting fresh?
Yeah, well, with everything, I'm just terrified. I am the
Mm.
most nervous actor probably imaginable. And I get nervous for everything. Like, for example, was nervous before we got on this call. Like
Mm.
I just no matter what I do, I always have this nervous energy inside. And then once I do it, I'm
Right.
fine. But yeah, and with this type of thing, and with there being a story before it, it gave me it. Well, first of all, it showed me what I was going into, which I loved.
Mm.
And the story is amazing, and the movie's fantastic. I it wasn't. If anything, it kind of calmed me down in a way because I was a fan of the movie, and just I mean the source material in general. So in a sort of way, it kind of actually helped me.
Mm.
I hope I explained that well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, something I found really interesting about the show is that there's all these familiar, like high school student tropes with, like,
Mm,
a closeted student, like a popular jock character, and then even
sure.
Felix being
Uh-huh.
like kind of a quirky outsider. So, but they're all kind of also different from the usual molds of those characters. But
Yeah.
so, would you say there's other ways that Love Victor um, differs from other high school based shows?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And the main you got to give credit to the writers for that.
Mm.
And the actors. Like Mason and Michael, they put their own spin on the characters and I think it was beautiful. And yeah, it's definitely a story that I haven't seen much personally.
Mm.
I mean, I haven't watched everything that's out there, but I really haven't seen something like this. And like, for example, something that I love that was I feel different from other shows and things like that was Felix's mom hoarding. I thought that was a
Yeah.
great layer to put into that character.
Mm.
And it shows you just like why you never saw his life and why Felix was kind of always in other people's business, but no one was ever in his, and we found out why. And I love that. Or Lake's mom, and her basically beating her down for not being pretty enough or not fitting in this little box, which she obviously shouldn't even be thinking about. And like the Latinx point of view, and a
Mm.
religious family and things like that, I think all were incredible things that made the story different.
Right. And I would say again also that each of the characters on Love Victor are very different from one another. They're
Mhm.
definitely all very much individuals. So would you say of that ensemble that Felix is the closest to your real life personality, or do you think you're more similar to someone else on the show?
My castmates think I'm like Felix. And
Mm.
I always the only reason why I always refrain from saying I'm like Felix is because I feel like I'm complimenting myself.
Right.
Felix is an amazing person, and I hope to be like Felix. I want to be like Felix. And in some ways, I think I am. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I think out of everyone, I'm definitely closest to him. Um,
Mm.
and I strive to be as kind and generous and loving as he is.
Right. And you mentioned Lake in an earlier answer, and Felix kind of develops this unconventional relationship with her. And in terms of kind of that aspect and Felix's story for the first season, were you told everything ahead of time, or did you kind of did anything take you by surprise, basically?
Yeah. So I was finding things out along the way, which is
Right.
really fun.
Mm.
And yeah, and it was really interesting to see Felix and Lake's relationship. And especially when you know you're going to be like living it, it's like super fun to read and
Mm.
see how everything is connecting. And so yeah, a lot of things took me by surprise. The biggest thing was actually um, there's a couple. The hoarding scene was definitely one of them. Felix standing up to Andrew was definitely one of them. I was very
Right.
shocked about
Yeah.
that, but also very happy. I thought that was a huge moment for Felix.
Mm.
The coming out scene, I was surprised is the wrong word. I was honored just to be a part of that scene. Um,
Right.
just to be able to like be the first person Victor shared that to was fucking incredible. I'm not sure. Am I
Mm.
allowed to say fucking? Oh wait, I guess we're not gonna use record. You're gonna write this. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's there was a lot of things that took me by surprise, and it was really fun just to go down the line and read all of it and
Right.
discuss it
And
after with my castmates. That was always a blast too.
yeah, yeah, and kind of moving away from Love Victor a little bit. You
Hmm.
mentioned earlier No Good Nick,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and well, the kind of a commonality it has with Love Victor is that it was on a streaming platform. So, how different would you say those kind of experiences are to being on a show on a network?
Uh, Definitely different. I
Mm.
wouldn't say in Well, I mean, so the thing about just TV in general is that and I've been really blessed to be able to film a lot of different type of TV, you know. And
Mm.
so for example, when I was on Bold, which was a network, that was like it was airing like sl- it was airing like one piece at a time, so I got to like go back and like watch the episode I did 2 months ago, but then I would have to wait. With a streaming
Right.
service, I could just like binge everything. So
Mm.
so there's that, but filming wise, you don't really notice if it's like a network or if it's a streaming platform, because at the end of the day, we're all just still doing the same thing we always do, which is just creating art.
Yeah.
There isn't much of a difference there. It's more of the type of TV show where you see more of diversity of how you're filming.
Mm. And kind of looking at some of the genres that you've worked in, a soap opera. kind of with Love Victor, this like teen kind of centered drama, and
Mhm.
even like No Good Nick had comedic elements. So how comfortable are you like jumping between these different formats of telling a story?
Super. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I love doing it. I mean, I've had a lot of variety, which is a huge blessing. And I mean, I'm a fan of it all. You know, I love drama. I think those are some of the most fun scenes to play. I'm a huge fan of comedy, and so I love playing into that. And if you can make someone laugh on set, it just makes your day. So I love doing that, and yeah, I mean, I love it all. I love it all, no matter what. And it's you know, I've been doing this for 9 years now. So the more and everything's basically a learning experience. Everything is a boot camp, you would say. Bold was definitely a boot camp for me.
sure.
And because that was probably one of the hardest shows you could possibly do.
Mm,
We're doing like 2 episodes a day. It was insane.
wow.
Yeah, 120 pages. But but I mean, every experience really gets you used to it. And luckily, I've been surrounded by just amazing people in my career to support me. And if I had a bad day, they would help me with it, or they would help me with just scenes and acting. And so, in my career, I really got a lot of support, so that when I got to the place I am now, I feel really comfortable just going from back and forth and all over.
Right. And this is actually the last question I've got
Mhm,
here. And we're obviously all living in very troubling, challenging times.
mhm.
So if you could send a message to like fans of your work or fans of you personally, what would that be?
Sure. You know, I'm learning. I'm only 20, but what I will
Mm,
say is that I find no matter what the situation is, if you can always find the positive, it's going to make your situation way easier.
mm,
And I realized some people don't want to do that. And I think it's because
right,
people are comfortable and negative. Um, and I understand that too. I've been in that place. But if you really try to look on the bright side of things and change your perspective, and just really try to be a positive person, and you're gonna seep into negativity. That's because you're human, but if you
mm,
can try to uh, make yourself look at the bright side or try to be a positive person, positive outcomes are going to come to you. And
yeah,
so I think, with everything going on, we and as a human race, we are very resilient, I believe.
right.
But just try to be positive, because the world is going to change a lot, and the world's going to change constantly. What in 5 years, the world's going to be different than what we see today. So just I don't want to say live in the moment, but yeah, I guess I will. Live in the moment, try to hang out with friends, be super happy that we aren't dealing with this in 1812.
Mm,
We're
yeah,
dealing with this today, and I can still turn on Netflix. I can talk to you through a phone, which 100 years ago people wouldn't even think that was possible. So we can
sure.
still do all of these things, and looking on the bright side will definitely help you through it. But that's just what I think.